Okay, today is the 12th of October 2021, and today is our regular Super Tuesday. All right, Super Tuesday, that means that we're going to have a special session later at 2 p.m. All right, I have prepared something very special for you, so I'll let you have more details later for my students. I'll update through the Telegram groups. All right, now we can see that earnings, inflation, stagflation is now the ongoing concern by many traders and investors. All right, so the question is this: will this create a problem for the Q3 earnings? Well, my personal take about Q3 earnings is that I think it'll be relatively okay, but it will be on the downside, definitely for sure. But the question will be going forward, the fourth quarter. So I believe that there will be a in general, the earnings for the third quarter will be lower than the second quarter. And I believe that the expectation itself, right, for the non-financial product, right, may not be that rosy. Okay, so that is my personal take itself. And of course, the market will not wait for the earnings result to come out and then to react. Likely they will react first before the result are out, right? And usually itself, right, seemingly the boys will know what to do. So that's why if let's say the equity market starts to pull back a little bit after the recent recovery, it's more like they purposely bring out the market higher so that they can take profit against on those people who are more optimistic. All right, I'll share with you why I said that in a very short moment. All right, first of all, disclaimer as usual, my job is to basically see the chart and translate what I feel to you. And you guys make the decision to buy and sell. And I know that every morning, maybe about 50 of you always will come online and listen to what I had to share. I thank you very much for that. Okay, so the thing is this: inflation is getting harder to ignore. Now, inflation can basically swallow you alive. All right, I don't think this is the first time I use this picture, but I just want to use this picture to tell you that seriously in America itself, right, people are now, it comes to the point of no choice, but they accept inflation, and definitely inflation is going to, hit them hard because you must understand cost increases and they have to buy regardless. There are some products in the market whereby, example, fries, flour, this what you call noodles and stuff like that. All these you need to buy. This is daily necessity. So seriously, even you can cut down on your proteins like your meat, but you still need to, survive. So you realize that itself, right? Prices in Singapore is starting to creep up. In fact, if you look around, usually all the chicken rice and noodles are all going up by easily 20 cents to 50 cents, and it's actually very clear. So the question is, can we complain? We can make a complaint, you can whine over it, but it's still to pay. Yeah. So this thing will come in hard because you can see right now, this is from the trading economics, all right? You can see over here itself, something very, very clear that you cannot lie about it, is that back in 2007, okay, the inflation numbers about 2%. Then after that, we have the market because of the the easy monetary policy that was available in the market, and we saw the market in general, the stock market all shot up, right? And inflation also go up at the same time. And the time when it hit this point here is 2008. That was where the Lehman Brothers issue happened, 2008, and that was that inflation hits approximately about 5.4%, around there, okay, 5.4% during the Lehman Brothers time. And of course, after that, Lehman Brothers collapsed, everything went down the hill. And of course, during a period of time, we have crude oil commodity prices all going up, remember? Yeah, at those times itself. And of course, what happened to the market? The market collapsed, and so came the inflation. So it seems that inflation is always a catalyst, because when inflation crept in the market, right, the central bank had to come in to lower down or take away the monetary policy. All right, they don't want it to get overdone. They had to maintain. If everything keep on buying up, right, the price will go higher itself, and then the poor or the unfortunate or we call it lower income people, they will definitely be having the brunt of it. So that's the reason why when the inflation goes too high itself, right, it's a very good indication that usually the central bank will step in. So that was what happened back in 2008 and 9. Then after that itself, right, we have something almost similar back in 2011. That's why it happened again. But now we are back to where we were previously. Now we are back to where we were previously. And of course, we're talking about the stock market three times higher than the last time. We're talking about the crude oil price is nowhere near the $150 a barrel. So it's like, okay, so which is which then? Oh, well, all I can tell you is this: when the inflation at this level is all right, and we're going to look back into time, the last 20 years, definitely this is going to cause some worry. And definitely from where we're looking at around that the tapering will most likely be happening in November, means that in November FOMC meeting, very good chance Federal Reserve will say, okay, we had to taper, we have to do that. But the question is how fast and how much, all right? So we are back to 2008. So actually I wrote an article yesterday on Trade with the Boys. Yeah, I wrote this article. Basically, I just have this deja vu feeling because I was trading back in 2008 and I remember that Dimon crisis. I also remember that how the commodity prices went up in 2010 to 2011. And of course, that was where the gold price shoot up from this $1,000+ all the way to $1,900. I remember all this rather vividly. So that's why I decided to write an article on this, and I also provided the charts. I tell you about why crude oil now, you can see this is the crude oil price. Now back in 2006 to 2010, there was crude oil prices rising from a low of $50. It went up to a high of $147. Okay, remember that? That was where it went crazy. Then after that, it's at a very alarming speed. So right, how it went up is how it came down. It came down even faster and it came down all the way to $30. That was whereby it really created a big mayhem to the entire energy sector itself. So the thing is this, after that, that was in 2008. Okay, that's 2008. So that was where it happened. And then now we fast forward the tape itself. Today we are 2021, and apparently it seems to be going to start again. But of course, the question is this: if let's say you look at the history, back in the whole thing happened in 2008, that was when the stock market came off and stuff like that. All these things is all right. So I don't think that crude oil will go back to 147, but I cannot deny this, right? My 82, 83 target is still my mid for this year target. Like anything higher is all right, you will have to go to about 117 level. Seriously, if crude oil go to this level, I believe that a lot of people will be really making a lot of noise. And I don't think it will happen unless there's a really supply crunch in the market. So that's why we need to observe this closer. Okay? All right. So of course, we know that this month we have a lot of earnings. I mentioned to you, it's all right. Today, only PepsiCo. Then after that, nothing much until Thursday. Until next week. This week, I mean, other than PepsiCo, the rest are considered okay. But next week itself, with all the financial stocks itself, with like JP Morgan, BlackRock, First Republic Bank, and so forth. Right now, next week will be the week that the market will definitely looking at. So I kind of believe that this week itself, right, the market may take some profits before next week's result. So this is my personal take on the financial market. And of course, I had to review what happened yesterday when I give a call. So a couple of them. Number one is the gold, right? I remember I told you gold, it will be kind of resisted at 1762. I mentioned to you that gold will be kind of resisted at 1762. So as long as gold cannot cross 1762, I do suspect that gold price will be coming off. And really incredibly, it also really happened. You can see on the crude oil price, it went up to a high of 1761. Quite incredible. It went to 1761. And once it hit 1761, it couldn't stay up. And then it traced back down all the way to 1750. So again, this is something that we all know, that 1761 is a level to really watch out for. All right. Good morning to you, Gary, Judy, and Diana. Good to see you guys. All right. So this again tells you why that in the morning MAO is all right. It's good to have pen and paper, right, to write down some key details so that you will know what to do in the market. Now, end of the day is this: whether you make or you don't make money is all right. I don't charge you for that. And of course, if you make a lot of money from that, I only can congratulate you, but I cannot, take anything from you. Okay. So that's why the thing is this: I can say that this over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I've been giving you this recap of my calls. And you can see that the accuracy is about 80%, all right, 80% to be decent. So if let's say it's all right, if a person gives you 80% call and then makes money, right, isn't that a very good thing to can consider using it. All right. Just like I tell you, crude oil will go up back then itself when it was $70. I was very adamant. I tell you that it will go to $80. And I tell you that my target is $82 and $83. So last night we saw the crude oil hitting $81.30, and that is on the CFD side. But on the so-called spot market side, it hit $82 already. So again, all this thing itself. So you think about this, all right? Some people, sometimes they tell me, say, hey, Cal, you know what, you give calls purposely on the wrong side so that, other people can benefit from it, or the broker. Then let's say, if that is really the true part itself, then can I ask you, if I write almost 80% last 2-3 weeks or so, right? Doesn't mean that the broker will be in a very bad position. So sometimes in life, people tend to get very easily distracted by those false accusation, or they're just too immature to balance the book. So to me, is that I don't need to bother so much. I just have to continue to show you my calls. And I actually purposely nowadays, I actually extrapolate the calls here, and I put as a review, as a highlight on Trade the Boys Facebook page, so that people can really validate for themselves, because you cannot lie this. All right. So that was crude oil yesterday. And of course, oops, sorry. Okay, that was crude oil yesterday. And now, of course, you look at the Hang Seng Group itself, right? Now, the Hang Seng Group is really getting really hot, right? Again and again, this is not the first time, not the second time. More and more people are actually able to make money from the market itself. I repeat, more and more people are able to make money from this Hang Seng market. Now, the thing is this, why are they able to make the money? Because I said I am a trader for the start first. And I've been trading Hang Seng for quite a while already, and I've been telling people this, right? If you ask me what is my pet favorite market, right? I can be honest with you, my pet favorite is Hang Seng. Really, my pet favorite is Hang Seng. So you ask me if this is going to be my pet favorite, of course I will know how to tell you what to look out for and what are the key points and stuff like that. Don't you agree? So that is the reason why I keep on telling people this. I say, look, okay, our students are posting their calls every single day, and people are coming on board, meeting me every single day, and we do recap every single day on our Facebook page. So all these are live showing, and I don't need to really tell you that how good it is. Okay, so this coming Sunday, Sunday, I'm working on Sunday. Okay, this coming Sunday on the 17th of October 2021, 9:30 a.m. Sorry. 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon, 2.5 hours, I will have another Zoom session, especially for this Hang Seng M1 trading. And I will be very detailed in my sharing. And of course, I will tell you all the little things that you can watch out for, and how our students are making money every single day on average. Okay. And the statistic to watch out for, and the trading way. All right. All these will be shared in the 2.5 hour session. And it's absolutely free. You don't need to pay, except that you have to switch on your webcam, your camera cam during the session, because I need to verify, are you a TWB student? Okay, all right. The registration will start tomorrow. All right, I'm not keen to I have a lot of people join in. As long as if you're really serious, trying to make money from the market itself, then you attend. Okay, all right. So this is very, very important. Now, of course, tonight we have the JOLTS job opening. All right, meaning the number of jobs that's available. So this is whereby we don't want job vacancies. You can see that all along itself, the job available has been there, and you can see it's quite clear that there's no biggie on this. Just that the interesting part is that the previous number was 10.93 million, but this time around they're forecasting 10.925 million. So it seems that they just slightly adjusted a little bit lower, which kind of quite interesting, because you can see from January this year until now, right? All the way the figure is going higher, not lower at all. So why suddenly they lower down the numbers over here itself, right? It's a question mark. Okay, it's a question mark. So I'm not too sure on this. Okay, all right. So we will see how it goes from there. Yeah. Oh, Hang Seng has given the KTR +1, but no chance to buy. Oh, okay. So today on the buy side, I have to wait already lah. No more already. Okay, all right. So that is what happened on the news. But more important is tomorrow we have the core CPI data. That will be a very important data to watch out for. Then of course we have the FOMC minutes. All right, sorry, the timing I haven't changed it to the Singapore timing yet. So it's my bad. So it's 2 a.m. Singapore time. Then after that, on Thursday, we have the initial jobless claim and followed by PPI, which is going to be very important because you can see that the PPI data is another one data we go watch out for. And the last one will be the retail sales. Retail sales have to be high, but you can see that the previous data was 1.8%, but the market now is looking at 0.5%. Wow, okay. And retail sales, they're looking at a minus 0.2%. So it seems that if the jobs are not coming in, the inflation numbers are getting higher, and now the sales are not performing. So all this, if you look at it together, right, tells you that the market is not going to buy. You understand my point, right? It's pretty clear that they are not looking forward to buy in the market for time being. So that's why this week is going to be a very big week for all of us. And I will tell you that traders, if the data aren't going to be friendly, then it will definitely bring the Dow Jones down back to 33,853 or 35, okay? Because that is the 95% mark. I'll cover that later during the charting area. Okay, cool. All right. So the thing is this, so we continue to provide lunches to our students. Yesterday, Jerry, Stanley, and Jacqueline, they all received their nice lunches as well, right? Thank you guys so much for participating in the Nikkei, the 27208 challenge, and you guys have been rewarded, okay? So we continue to give you the lunch, right? So for students who actually participate back then and stuff, right? The lunches will still be given to you, right? Thank you once again, all right? Okay, so let's just revisit what happened last night. Okay, this is something that you must take note, everybody. Now, the last night, the Dow Jones was up initially, okay? And I was like, okay, the Dow is up and I already have a buy position. So I put an SWL position and then I didn't bother so much really. Then after that, I did have a sell stop position, a sell stop somewhere around here. So it's a SWL position somewhere here, okay, somewhere like this. And then it's a sell stop position somewhere like this, okay? So which means that, right, I'm long in the market and I just put a SWL just to protect my position. And of course, if the market comes down lower, that will trip my sell reason. And then what happened? So when this morning, when I woke up, right, I said, hey, how come got a blue position? Because I mean, blue means actually making money, right? So that, hey, wow, okay, the market came down quite a lot. Okay, it's very surprising because the high itself, you can see it was 34,951. But the closing itself, right, is at the closing itself at 34,496. Wow, that is actually, you look carefully, right? The mathematics shows that the market was down by at least 500 points from the high. Now, 400 points, 450 points, okay, 450, make it clearer. 450 points from the high is a lot. And the best part is this, if you take notice of the whole chart here itself, right? The movement actually came during this period of time, which is 12. Now, 12 to 1 o'clock is known to be lunchtime. But yet, during the lunchtime, they actually purposely liquefy their position, almost 150 points over here. And if you look at CNBC later on when the report come out, right, when I went through the report, I realized that they did not really talk too much about it. Now, I tell you this as a trader, whenever during the US market lunchtime, okay, especially when everybody's calling for buy, suddenly out of nowhere, they start to take profit during the lunchtime, is never a good sign. I repeat, is never a good sign. So likely itself, someone had given some people some order to basically sell. And that is whereby I kind of suspect that we might see more selling later today. So that is the thing that it caught my attention, okay? Of course, if you look at what CNBC share in terms of summary, you put there that the Dow shades about 250 points. And basically from Bank of America says that, right, the estimate for third quarter have fallen due to supply chain, which I already tell you that supply chain is an issue, and labor pressures, meaning, right, labor wants higher pay because inflation is going up. And of course, companies who are not having the same type of orders definitely want to save up more costs to get profits. But so you think about this is a kind of problem here. The companies, if they increase the cost for their product, then it will basically create a repel by the consumer. But the thing is this, because of let's say they don't increase the product cost, but the employees, they want the pay the wages to go higher because the regional other cost is going up. So if this current boss doesn't want to, increase salary, then these people will jump ship to go to another company that can pay a higher wages. So this began what happened, and this company that they will suffer and it will go into a bankruptcy and then it will be gone. So this is the problem right now. That is actually what I say, the inflation itself is literally eating up the entire economy, not just in terms of price going up. There's basically a big problem, and this supply chain issue is the one big problem that created by the COVID-19 and the current inflation now. So basically, because of that itself, right, investors have to weigh that, the oil is going high, there's some economic worries, the major third quarter earnings, they start to tell you this and that itself. Then you can see that stock churn for most of the day, but selling increases in the last hour. No, if you look carefully at the chart again, the market actually started selling since 12 o'clock. Yeah, there was some selling towards the last hour, but it's really not relating the actual fact of the matter. So that's why I'm telling you this. Sometimes why we do this morning MAO, right? Is to catch out these little things that the media will try to tell you, and they don't really tell you, okay? And of course, we can see that because yesterday US bond market was closed for Columbus Day, but this morning the 10-year yields already trading at 1.63% already. Yeah, it's trading at 1.63%. No joke, guys. This is something pretty scary. And of course, this is going to be dangerous. So now let's look at the review of what yesterday's market. Everybody take a look. This is the opening price of the Dow Jones yesterday. Now, the Dow Jones has a KSI green. So yes, indeed, we do expect to go to KTR +1 to KTR +2 rather easily. And of course, if the market trades downwards, it's all right. It should be about KTR -1 to -2 at most. But the thing is this, as I said, this is what we know based on our technique. But the market reacted in a very different way. Let's take a look, everybody. So initially, the market came down first. Okay, fine. Then after that, it rebounded, stopped at the OP. Then we have a BNB right here itself, a BNB touching the OP. So we have a sell down to hit KTR -1, because remember this, the KSI is green in color, sorry. So the downside will be limited. And truth be told, after that, we see another CCRY created here, but unfortunately, there was no BNB, no much indication. Then the market goes sideways for about an hour or so, and then that was where it picked up itself and started to rally all the way to KTR +1. Now, as I said, again, the KSI is green, right? So we should expect to go much higher, but it didn't. It basically stopped around here, and then it reversed downwards, and that was where it all started, and the selling was no lacking. In fact, it was all the way down itself. No even a single chance to take a breather. You can see that all the way, lower high movement all the way. No chance of even have a single chance to breathe. Now, this is not normal, really. In a market that's supposed to be pretty decent right now, bullish and so like that, why would you want to sell so fast, so quick, and such in a hurry? So again, that is where I get a little bit worried on the financial market. Okay, so that is why I want to share this with you. All right, guys, if you like this analysis, key the word like, L-I-K-E. All right, if you like this analysis, please key the word like. All right, let me get some water first while I see you guys responding, because until now I don't see anybody responding anything here at the moment. So I just want to check whether all okay. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Gary. Hey, Gary, good to see you. All right. Okay, so let's just look at gold. Now, gold, we have also another interesting momentum. Now, gold itself, the opening price was below P2 yesterday already. So we mentioned that if gold stays below P2, there'll be some selling. But because we hesitant because the KSI was green in color, so we know that the market still got some upside. But we don't follow the OP rule and the pivot 2 rule. If the market stays below OP and pivot 2, we still have to sell. Just that we know that the downside will not be closing near the low. The closing itself, right, will not be at the low level. Apology. All right, but the blue bars are still there, so that means that the selling pressure is still around. So with that understanding itself, right, let's take a look. Okay, So what happened is that the day before was a doji day, so we kind of expect the market to go in a single direction, but it didn't really go. That was something of the surprising. So what happened is that the market below OP, below P2 is a sell, right? So that's why gold initially came down first pretty fast. Then after that, it started to bottom out and recover and went back above OP. Okay, but because above OP is until pivot 2 is an uncertainty zone, so we don't really trade it. So that's why this whole area is all right. We don't really trade. Now, the only time that you could have traded was when the price came down, hit beautifully. Look at it, the beautiful part. Now, again, I say our KTRs are all calculated numbers by the system. So which means that, right, it's not like I see the chart, I draw a trend line to find the technical support and resistance. But yet itself, got yesterday gold, the way our KTR -1 predicted the low of the day was really really amazing. How can the market know that KTR -1 exists over there? Really, how can they know? And of course, we have the KCX at the bottom, double confirm this. And that's why on KCX trade itself, you should have entered here and then make a $2 profit. Okay, can you see that? So that is why yesterday, I mean, if you would ask me itself, right, there's only one good trade and that's KTR -1. So that's why I always say to you guys, if you have KSI is green in color, kind of focus on the buy when the market comes down to KTR -1, -2, -3. If the market is downtrend, then focus on KSI is red. Then focus on selling from the top, which is KTR +1 to +3 level. I think that will make a lot of sense. Okay, all right, so that's what happened to gold. And interestingly, after that itself, it traded down. So again, with the equity market coming down and the gold market coming down, this doesn't sound right, right? Everything seemingly like they just want to get out of their position. This is something that is kind of like head scratching right now. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Brian, for your validation. So let's just see some local and global news right now. Now, Singapore new vaccinated travel lanes, okay, has been announced, and straight away, wow, we have some of the airlines website totally jam up. Now, my heart really goes to people who really need to go back home. For people who really want to go for holiday, can I ask you a simple thing itself? What made you think that it's safer in another country? And why must you really travel? Is it really that stifling in Singapore that you really must travel? Can we give the tickets to people who really want to go back to see their family members? I think that should be the right way. I mean, I don't know whether the Singapore government will do this just to check and verify, but I'm sure it's even they check and verify, people lie and then get away with it. So anyway, my point is this: I don't know what is the whole agenda of this, other than it's supposed to help Singapore to regain this global aviation hub status, because you must understand. Pre-pandemic time, Singapore Changi Airport is one of the biggest, one of the busiest in the world. We handle about 68 million people in 2019. 68 million, that is like 10 times Singapore population. Okay, but the number dropped to as low as 11.8 million. Oh my goodness, that's an 80% drop. Seriously, it's all right. This is whereby a lot of money is being utilized and spent just to maintain. But of course, we need to really recover, because if not, it's all right. Even how much reserve we have, we could dig into it. So that is something that is on news. And of course, immediately we saw SQ shares jump up yesterday. Now, SQ shares went up, SIA, SQ went up from $5.40. It was actually about $5.10 around there, around $5.10 before the news. And then after that, what happened? The news came in, it opened at 5.40 and shot up to 5.60. Okay, so the question, if you ask me, Cal, is it a good time to buy SQ shares? I say no. Yes, you heard me, I say no. Why no? Because seriously, I tell you that now you're buying it while it gap up. That means that a lot of people who have probably accumulated from here itself is going to take advantage of this. I'll say no. If you want to buy, can I suggest you this? Okay, a very simple way. Now, this is a gap, right? This is the opening price of the gap. This is the closing price of the gap. Now, as long as you draw a line at the closing price, okay, if you draw a line at the closing price of the day that the news came out, right? This is the news day, so you put a line at a horizontal line at the closing. If the market stays up above it itself, then you want to buy, I will stop you, okay? Because at least that the market is still able to accept that. But if the market doesn't, and if the market starts to trade below this line itself, right, below the one I just showed you, then please no entry. Really, no entry. Likely itself, it may even pull back all the way to where it came from before it bottom out and maybe later part recover. So no, my friends, I don't think it's a good time to buy anyway. Technically, also doesn't make sense also because we are now near the overbought region. So I will say no to this buying. If you want to buy, it's your own personal take. I cannot stop you. Of course, other than that itself, Sachs also behave the same way. Sachs, right? You know, the one that is working alongside with the Changi Airport side. Okay, so Sachs itself, right? You can also see the volume went crazy. And you can see that actually the market seemingly had some idea of this before that itself. So same thing again, you put the closing price line on yesterday's closing. If the market stays above it, you're going to buy, I won't stop you. But if the market goes below it, likely you'll cover the gap again. So that is why I say that no, don't chase. But again, in your own right. Okay, my job is to share with you only. Okay, cool. Now, of course, this has nothing to do with the global news, but it just I felt as a repercussion here is Lebanon. Now, Lebanon suffers 24 hours of blackout, food poisoning, business closure, and amid fuel crisis. Now, when prices of fuel goes up itself, right, then it's going to create a lot of problem. And for countries who cannot afford it itself, it will be even harder for them. So Lebanon, you can see that, right, left a population of 6 million, entire Singapore in short, without any electricity. So imagine, you say, "Aya, don't have, never mind, no." You are very wrong. Think about this, okay? That you imagine that as well, right? People who basically have refrigerator, they need to store the food, and all the food will go spoil. And of course, how about the other usage like handphone charging and stuff like that? Communication, all will drop. That is whereby you don't just see that, oh, one day no handphone, I'm fine. It's not about that, my friend. So that's why some experts are saying that Lebanon is on a bullet train towards a total collapse. Now, I cannot say it's a total collapse, but definitely it will create a repercussion effect. And that's whereby I keep on reiterating to you, when the crude oil price goes higher or energy price go higher, it's never a good thing, other than it's just good for those who are involved in the energy sector. If not itself, right, it's going to hit. So another reason why Lebanon really have big problem, because look at the currency itself. The official exchange rate for the Lebanese lira was pegged at 1,500 lira to the dollar since 1990. But after that, it's all right, for all the fighting, warlords and stuff like that, the whole rate came down to the black market. And oh my goodness, it went up to as low as you need to have 19,250 to get change for $1. Oh my goodness. That is how bad it is in that country here. So, and of course, this will tell you why when a country depreciates their currency, it's never good. Of course, we all know that the one that depreciates the most is actually America, but because they have the weapons, they have the technology, they also have the wealth control it, power, it's not that easy. But other countries who don't have all the above status, right, they have to suffer. Now, of course, US have to move closer to clearing Moderna and J&J COVID booster. So we all know that, right, some Singaporeans already started their booster shots already. And I see from my area itself, people are going to queue up again. So all I can say is this: Moderna say that a third shot at the half of the dosage used for the first two are safe and produce a stronger immune response. So in short itself, just asking us to pump in more. The question is it really working? Will it be working? And is it really necessary to have so much immune jabs at the same within a 1 year period? Well, all I can say is this: for me, I'm just waiting for the government to say to me, if they say I need, then I just go along, no choice. All right. I already tell you that I don't know how do I react on this. I'm just gonna say that does everybody need a booster? Seriously, if you think they no need, then no need, no. But again, we have a lot of good ways to turn around and make you get it done. Okay, so we covered the global news right now. Let's look into the important market information for references. Please stay tuned. This is going to be very important. So Bitcoin in rally, wow, Bitcoin rally past 57,000. So what actually created this incredible run? There were 5 big reasons. NFT trading hit $10.7 billion last quarter. That's a lot of money. Now, one of the bank, I call US bank, launches Bitcoin custody services. That means a lot of people to actually utilize Bitcoin in their custodian account. Then, of course, AMC accepts the Dogecoin. Oh my God, Dogecoin is being accepted as payment for gift vouchers, gift cards. And of course, Senator Cynthia, interesting, she disclosed that she bought a Bitcoin worth up to 100,000. But the question is that Bitcoin why got hit so high? So apparently, not too sure. But is that showing to us that, right, this meaning that people don't mind buying at a higher price too? And lots of course now Joe Biden administration itself, they are weighing the executive orders on cryptocurrency regulation. So if let's say eventually Joe Biden say, you know what, we can relax a little bit on the regulation, wow, that will see the crypto market going ballistic. All right. Now, of course, on the same note, right, with the Bitcoin going higher, that is the reason why the gold price cannot go up, because now there's another alternative. And in big cryptocurrency, there's so many different coins to enjoy, even the DeFi side. So there's so many, so that's why the money is all diluted across the board. Now, I've been seeing my friends who actually use robot trading and they're making money overnight. They are watching, they're sleeping and money is being made. They're telling me it's so easy and so easy. You know, when I see all this itself, right, I cannot deny this. Really, it's really like 2008 is coming again. I believe that 2008 is coming back again. It's a deja vu, but this deja vu is, you know, is something that we've seen before. It will happen again, and it will happen to make sure that the money will be able to be taken from the retailer hands. Now, for me, itself, buying Bitcoin is still a long-term project, and I still think that it will go up to about 82 to 85,000. But my personal thing is this: we don't need to really jump in right now. And I say I'm still waiting for the opportunity to come. Now, of course, Jamie Dimon, interesting. Jamie Dimon actually said that Bitcoin is actually useless, worthless. Sorry. All right, and he compared to cigarettes. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, so Jamie Dimon, okay, he is the CEO of JP Morgan. You must understand, he's always been a Bitcoin skeptic. Okay, he had been reiterating that he believed that this Bitcoin got no intrinsic value, and it's like, you know, this is really a bad time to have it. And he also thinks that you shouldn't like smoke cigarette equivalent to shouldn't have Bitcoin. Now, but a very interesting point is this: he draw a line from his view versus his own company. Because his own company, JP Morgan Wealth Management Division, quietly added half a dozen Bitcoin investment vehicles to the bank offering. Now, my point is this: quietly or not, it still must be approved by you. So to me, is that he replies, say, our clients are adults, they disagree to don't buy Bitcoin. So if they want to buy and sell Bitcoin, the Bank of America shouldn't stop them, and as long as get them clean and legitimate. So in short, it's all right. While you are saying this, saying that itself, you still people that able to enjoy trading Bitcoin. So this one, yeah. All right. So for Dimon, you must understand he has been really against Bitcoin since 2017. So when Bitcoin came down back in 2018, right, he must be the happiest people on earth. But since 2020 until today, slowly and surely, you can see the Bitcoin accelerated all the way. So of course now he just said that no, I think it's just crazy. All right, and he felt that, right, this is really, you know, people just speculating it. So end of the day, he put this way, okay, he said that the main thing is this: the digital gold that we all know, right, basically supposed to end its supply at 21 million coin, but that's how the algorithm is being written, right? So call up. So the Jamie Dimon's cost is down. How do you know it'll end at 21 million? Do you read all the algorithm and you guys believe in that? Now, I've been skeptic about stuff like that, so someone have to prove it to me. So, okay. So the question is that this guy telling you that, hey, you know, until it happens, then we don't worry. So that is the reason why some people is like, okay, who to follow then? Now, of course, Goldman Sachs itself did not talk about Bitcoin. In fact, they cut the US economic growth outlook. That's interesting, because I remember they did it recently. And not only recently, they did it recently. Okay. Now, the firm basically lowered its 2020 GDP forecast to 4% from 4.4 itself. Okay. And the thing is this: what are the reasons? Because they're telling you that it's because of the consumption forecast, reopening, fiscal stimulus, pent-up saving, wealth effect, blah, blah. And now that means that they'll be delayed in the consumer spending, aka the economy. And of course, he said, I mean, this in Goldman's report says that the COVID-19 cases still ongoing. So it's another problem, like people like feel like movie theater, like even recreations and stuff like that. People cannot really go. But like Singapore now, everybody getting bigger size because we cannot really go and enjoy our little exercise, at least for me, speaking for myself. So what happened is this: I remember that Goldman Sachs did not just tell you about the GDP. So I went to dig up for you on a side note. Then on 18th of August, that was where already Goldman Sachs reduced US growth forecast to 6%. That was from 6.4 dropped to 6%, and that was 18th of August. Okay, 18th of August. But you know that after a month later itself, right, on the 7th of September, Goldman Sachs come in again and reduce further and say that it will go lower, and that is where the 5.7 to 5.6 that was on September. So August, September, obviously October. So October today is right, October the 10th yesterday. October the 10th, you can see that Goldman Sachs came in again, and this time around say it go to 4.4, from 4.4 to 4%. Oh my goodness. So they keep on reducing. What's your point? Are they telling me that the market will go to crash? Or there's something wrong in the whole market? That's why would they need to do 3 markdown in a span of 3 months? A bit funny, right? A bit funny, right? So what I did was I dig out some more for you. And apparently they says that, right, stagflation is scary, but you can actually prevent it. Okay, so let me show you what they mean. Okay, let's get the thing up. Okay, so Goldman Sachs says that in fact the reason why they actually look at the GDP to go down because then there's a possibility of a stagflation. Possibility, not there will be. It's just a possibility. So what happened over here itself? It says that, right, okay, there's a way to combat it. Okay, there's a way to combat it, so you don't need to panic. One of the way is that, right, you must understand stagflation is a rare period of slow growth. And back then itself, right, it happened in the 1970s. So over the last about 60 years or so, all right, you can see that, right, during stagflation period, we have falling profit margins and interest rate going up at the same time. So that causes the GDP, the S&P to drop on average about 2% for all the quarters. So that is what's happening right now. And of course, currently now the inflation that we're having now is about the same level as what happened in the 1990s. So that's why Goldman Sachs says that if you want to combat inflation, you need to get high pricing power companies. So these are the so-called high pricing power companies: Adobe, CoStar, Synopsys, and Oracle, Workday, and so forth. Now, apparently, these are so considered as high-powered company. All right, I don't really know what it means, but it seems to be that they are supposed to be able to maintain high revenue despite stagflation period. All right. But the thing is this, that I say before we go right into that itself, right, something I want to share with you is that the thing here is Goldman Sachs basically raises the S&P target on 5th of August to 4,700. Now today is about 4,400. So we're talking about another at least 8% from here. And that was done by one of the celebrity, very well-known David Costin, okay? And of course, JP Morgan says that it will also be hitting 4,700, almost identical speech, but they only came out about 1 month later. And then JP Morgan says that they believe that the market is going to have a correction that is not going to come. And we think that it is actually different, and they expect the market to go higher. Okay, so that is from the mouth of JP Morgan. But the thing is this, all of them were looking at 4,007. But the thing is that Goldman Sachs is cutting down the forecast, but they expect the S&P to go higher. And then the better part of this, we have the opposite camp, which is the Morgan Stanley. Okay, this JP Morgan, this is Morgan Stanley. So different thing, right? So they call it 大摩, 小摩. So basically, it's all right. Apparently, the Morgan Stanley say, no. The S&P is going to drop to 4,000. Oh my goodness. So we have another total outside version and say that no. On 17th August, just about 10 days after the Goldman Sachs came out, the target of 4,007, Morgan Stanley said, no, it's 4,000. So how, guys? What do you think? We have actually 3 big shots of the financial market. 2 of them say 4,007. 1 of them say 4,000. Can I have your own verdict? Guys, please key your number right now. There are 59 of you. What do you think? How many of you say 4700? Please key that number. How many of you think it can be 4,000? Key that number. All right, then we'll see by end of the day. It's all right. By end of this year, 31st December, what will be the statistics like? All right, come, give me your figure. Which one will you pick? 4700 or 4,000? Which camp do you pick? Right, please key your answer right now. Okay, so Fred say never listen to them, not reliable. Okay, all right, Allison, Brian, Liu, Jerry, Anthony, Janet, Susan, Stanley, Bingwan, and okay, under Bingwan there, all is 4,700. Wow, okay, all of you are 4,700. Okay, all right, cool, understand. Okay, now only one Gary is looking at 4,001 and only Gary is looking at 4,000. Gary, if you don't mind yourself, can you share with us live right now? Why do you think that the S&P 500 will hit 4,000 instead? Because all your friends here itself or your TWB TWB community are all looking at 4,700. So why do you actually quote 4,000? Can you share with us while we wait for Gary to reply? If he can do that, it's all right. Now, my personal take is this. I felt that my personal feeling is this, right? We can have both. We can have the S&P going down to 4,000 first. Yeah, I mean, now it's at 4,400. We can actually see the S&P go down to 4,000 first or somewhere near there. And then after that, from down there itself, it recover back to 4,700. Hey, why not, right? Like that, best of the both world, right? Both are correct. Correct enough. All right, why not? Because you see, the Goldman Sachs is reducing the GDP numbers. Then we also have the seasonal pattern for October. We also know that, right, on 29 October, with yesterday's report from Larry Williams' side, it seems that there will be some more selling to come. Then after that, the market will recover based on the seasonal pattern of December period. So all again, this I can share with you that most likely we have that lot. We may have to have the market going down first. So today itself, right, the S&P 500 is trading at, let me just write it down. The S&P 500 is 4,400 right now. Today is 12th of October, correct? So what will happen is that what if the price go down first to maybe 4,100 level for until here, maybe let's say like we just randomly just put a date 29 October, just like what the Larry Williams said yesterday, and then after that he hit the 4,001, and then after it go up all the way to 4,000, maybe 600, maybe that will by 31st of December, maybe, how I know, yeah. So anything is all possible, right? Who knows, this may be the right way to look at it. All right. Okay, Gary says that he's feeling bearish on the overall sentiment, a bubble like 2008 waiting to burst. Okay, fair enough. While Liu say that 4,000 to 4,000 will be perfect. Yeah, indeed, that is, I think so itself. Okay, no, of course, Gary, no worry. Disclaimer as usual. Don't need to worry about what you share here. So my view is this. I think that my personal view is something like that. If you would ask me, really put a gun on my head itself, right? I'll tell you that I prefer it to come down first, then go back up. Yeah, that's what I feel that likely could be happening instead. Okay, so that is my view. Let's see whether all of us will be correct one way or another. Okay. All right, so we have fear and greed indicator, right? I told you this one you can go to CNN, go to fear and greed index, CNN, and then just Google it, and you can get this indicator. I can tell you this, guys. The moment I see the indicator hit 11 or 12, right, I confirm I will be going long on the equity market. Maybe, of course, it may go down to even 8, 9, 7, 5, it doesn't matter to me. I tell you that if you even go down to that 0.5, 6, I might buy more itself. And then keep. The most important thing is this: after you buy ready, you must learn how to keep. Keep until when? Keep until you see the market recover, until you go back again. You understand? So really, any day itself, right? If the indicator hit 11 or 12, please come on, man, everybody. Let's all go in and buy some good counter or the index itself and let it run. The market will be filled with noises. A lot of people call for sell. They tell you this, they tell you that. Then the market will crash. Tell you that it's going to be Armageddon. Don't believe in that. Just stick with the flow of it. Okay, that's my personal view. Okay, Liu say start to go below 20, can start to accumulate already. Okay, Liu, no problem. I say everybody got their own way of trading. And I think you know what to do. I'm fine with that because when my 20 itself, right, go lower, some people get me freaked out in between. But if you hit 11 and 12, right, the downside and upside itself, right, is comparative really. Yeah, that is how I do it. But anyway, everybody got their own way to do it. No wrong, no right. Okay, all right. So let's study the charts right now. The bull goes moo, the bear goes grr, and the lemming will go and say that it's different this time. All right. Okay, let's bring the chart right in right now. Okay, moment. Okay, here we go. Okay, so what happened on the China A50 first? Now, the China A50 this morning get down. This morning it get down. Then after that, it's now trying to recover above the previous closing. Okay, let me just explain to you more in details. Now, first of all, as I said yesterday, the market basically supported itself at the 61.8 at 14,972. Then after that, it supported already, and so it will likely bounce back to this point. And really, it went up to the 50% mark, which is 16051. Okay, that is a 50% mark. But after that, you notice that it failed to stay above, it pulls back. And now the closing, and now it's trying itself again. So undeniable, if the China A50 is to trade higher, it will likely go back up to this point. And of course, if it closes above 16051, it should be able to test this point here itself. That is the MA 200. Let me just adjust a little bit. Okay, here we go. And that figure will be 16,390 range. Okay, so that is what we can look out for China A50. So if China A50 is to continue its recovery, it will still have to test 16,051. Okay, all right. So that's China A50 for you. Then, of course, we are looking at Hang Seng this morning. Now, Hang Seng this morning, also a beautiful movement there. Now, Hang Seng this morning opens, okay, it opens, gap down. Yesterday was up, this morning gap down. Then after it gap down itself, right, it starts to recover strongly, and now it's above the MLP. Now, you notice that this is the MA30 itself, and it's been firming there quite a bit, So why is that so? Because as long as the market stays above MLP and above OP, right, generally speaking, the market will go up. And true enough, it's happening right now. But of course, we can see also at the same time, we have an MLP resisting it itself, and that price is at 25,050 level. All right, so as long as the market stays below 25,050, the market is still going to be like more profit taking. But if the market stays above 25,050, the MLP, then of course there is still a very good chance for the market to retest again. Now, we saw the chocolate bar that was here 2 days ago, and we said that if the Hang Seng go up, right, it will go for the chocolate bar, which it really did. So that's the reason why I say that chocolate bar itself is a very powerful tool. Actually, when we show you the TWB basic set, right, you will definitely love the chocolate bar because it will give you the targets of where the market could be heading towards. Yeah. Okay, so that is what happened for today's market for the Hang Seng. So let's look at Hang Seng's our TWB chart first. Okay, now Hang Seng this morning, for Hang Seng, you can take a look, everybody. Now Hang Seng this morning, opening price was here, and the KSI was green in color, so very simple. If the market touches P2 and go below, we should sell. CCYR should sell. But of course, the KSI green itself, right, we have to monitor the market. But once the market recovers above the P2, it is definitely a buy. CCRY is definitely a buy because it triggered the pivot 2 and it should be going higher. So let's take a look at the Hang Seng this morning on the 5-minute chart. Let's take a look. Now the 5-minute chart really very clearly show the market gap down first. Then there was no way you can buy because color change is still, there's no color change in fact. Then after that, the movement came in when the market purposely tapped the low again. And this time around, it also touched the pivot 2 at the same time. Wow, okay. So for traders who are a little bit more adventurous, right, who can take on greater risk, when the market hit a P2 and recover, right, a lot of us can even try to do something here itself. Now, of course, this one is not a 5-minute buy. That will be a 1-minute buy most likely, but the concept is there. And of course, we can see that the risk-reward ratio is not fantastic. I mean, the risk is not very heavy, but the reward is pretty exciting. This could be a 4-timer or 5-timer. So that's why, you know, it's possible to have 10-time move if this actually really happened. All right, so that is the Hang Seng today. Okay, so that's Hang Seng right now. So Hang Seng should be able to cover gap. Most likely Hang Seng is going to cover this gap here. Yeah, most likely it's going to cover the gap here as well. Okay, so that is Hang Seng for all of us. Let's look at the other market. Oh, Hang Seng is about to cover gap already, about already nearing. wow, this is the strength of Hong Kong, right? All the money that's available in the financial system right now by the government, and some of the rich people who say that they will use their money to help. Okay, I'll just say that. Okay, fine. Okay, so that is the the Hang Seng now. Let's look at the Dow Jones. Okay, now this morning Dow Jones actually quite interesting. Can you take a look? First of all, you can see that this is MLP. The market is really trading below MLP, not a very good sign. Number two, this is the MA30 where the market touches it beautifully. And also we have the MA200 which is now also holding it. So what you see very beautiful is that the MA30 was triggered this morning. This MA30 was triggered. So look at 15-minute chart, we will see very clear. Let's take a look. Beautiful, right? Can you see that? The market purposely, go up first, and then after that hit the what do you call MA30. Now you notice that the one that follow you, right? The line is not accurate because it shows that already been going down. But for when you have a horizontal line, it's an indication of a level, right? You know exactly where you went wrong, and of course. That was where the market couldn't stay above the MA, and that led the Dow Jones to come down. Okay, so with that understanding, it's now relative at the day chart here for the Dow Jones. Okay, so first of all, we now have the MA30 and MA200, and both lines itself, right, are now higher than the closing or current price. So this is not favoring the buy. It's not, okay, it's not favoring the buy. And I told you before, the buying yesterday was a bit, selling yesterday was a bit funny. A lot of noise. So for today, it's all right. Same thing. If the market must stay above the MA200, and the MA200 is 34,434. So which means that we are now around that. Okay, we are just somewhere around there itself. Okay, not 34. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. Error there. 371. Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, so which means that right now we are actually right here right now, 34371. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: the market has to stay above 34371 to maintain its ground above the MA200. And you can see now, right, it's seemingly doing that to prevent itself from trading below it. Because we saw when it went below itself, the selling bring it down by at least 100 points, right? The current price now to the low is 100 points. So if you are actually looking at this, then you must make sure that it stays above that. Now, if it doesn't, then the selling will bring it all the way down to the 1x1, and that is 33,927. Okay, by that again, I say only if the market failed to stay above 34,371. Then, of course, we have the 95% mark, which is 33,835. That will be the level that the market will likely be going because we have seen it happening the last 6-7 times. Okay, so traders, if you want to, look at the Dow Jones to go down further, these two numbers, please take note. Okay, 34,371 and 33,927. Okay, all right, cool. Let me write down for you this time around. Last video I didn't write down. Some of you asked. Okay, Dow. What we have there, MA200 estimate is 34,371. And after that, we have the minus 1x1 estimate at, no, not estimate, it's already confirmed. And that's 33,927. And of course, we have the final one, which is the 95 minus 95%. Okay, at 33,835. Yeah. Okay, so this is the level that we need to watch out for the market. Okay, cool. Yeah, pretty clear, right? Okay, so it seems that the Dow is now recovering above the low already. So let's see how high can the market be going. Just give me a moment, guys. Messages coming in. I just settle this. Done. Okay, here we go. Done deal. Let's continue. Okay. All right. So that is the Dow Jones, and let's look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart itself, this is a long-term chart, and you can see what I'm trying to explain over here. Now, everybody focus. This is the point A, and this is point B, and this is point C. Okay, got idea? Okay. So now I'm gonna make another color. This is A, but blue color. This is B. Okay, and this is C. Can you see that? You just draw a bit better. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Ayyo. Freehand, very difficult. Okay, so what you see here is now what we can see is that A, B, C rate. Okay, when the market broke C, the market sold down really, really terrible. Okay, the market really, really terribly sold down very badly. Okay, now right here now, A, B, and C, we are also seeing that the market broke below C. But you notice that the market here itself is really heavily supporting it, as if that it just doesn't want it to go down. Because now we still have the easy monetary policy, we still have still the $80 billion coming in, and that is the problem. Why Federal Reserve must take this out? Because you don't take this out, everybody will be making money every day. There's no much easier to do this. So you can see that the market now is basically clocking like a zebra. Yeah, black, white, black, white, black. And you notice that the body itself, right? The body distance is all very near one another. Now again, all these I didn't prepare myself while talking to you. All this is flowing to my mind right now, and I want to share this with you. Because if you look at it, as I say it again, the market, if it has to really goes up, right? You can take the mathematics here itself, everybody. So you see, if the market is to choose to go up, now the difference between this point to this point here itself is about 1,500 points. Okay, 1,500 points. Let's take note of that. 1,500 points. Okay, so let's say now the top number first. The top number is 35,032. So plus 1,500 points, you will get how much? 36,532. Okay, so that means that if the market will go up higher, right, it will go to 36,532. Now on the flip side, if the market go down instead, now it's 33,506 minus 1,500 points. Now how much will that be? Okay, how much would that be? That will give you about 32,006 level, around there. All right, so the thing is this, where is 32,006 level? Where is the another one? Let me just bring it in. All right, basically it's all right. Let's just do the numbers here. Okay, moment. 32,006. There we go. That will be the Dow potential downside and the Dow potential upside. 36,532. Okay, there we go. All right, so with that is I clear the screen now. This is the projection that you're looking at in market right now. So that means that if you look at it, if the market really starts to go down, right, you come down to this point here first, and then go down further to reach this point. Now, if the other way around is that you go up, which is nearer, and then go up. So you can see that the downside has more downside, the upside is lesser, but of course, upside is easier to reach. Okay, upside is easier to reach. All right, upside is easier to reach compared to the downside. Okay, so the question is this. All right, what's the thing? If let's say we were to really think about this, If the market is to come down to this point here at about 32,000 level, I strongly believe the time the CNN indicator will be at around 11 or 12. That will be a lovely time to buy, because by the time this happens, I believe that RSI reading will also hit about this point. And if you look at it, everybody, hold on. Okay, let me chart a bit smaller. You notice that, right? Okay. The thing is this: if the market really comes down to this point here, now the RSI reading is already here. Okay, the time the market reading market was here, the RSI was at the top. So the market will flow down so much for it to come down to the bottom here. You understand? Now we are already far away. So if the market is to go down this magnitude, as you can see, I believe that RSI should be able to come down this point here. And that means that if you look at it in the long haul, whenever the RSI comes down to about 30 level, it always presented itself a very good reason to go long, heavy in the market. So that's the reason why I felt that, right, if any time also, if all this thing is happening, maybe about 2-3 weeks time, and the market really drastically fall, then when RSI hit about this point here for the weekly chart, it will be a very good long-term buy. Okay, long-term buy itself. So, okay, all clear? All right, so this is another beautiful chart that I'm going to share with you today. It will not be like you guys by tomorrow and stuff, but at least you can consider to talk and look at it. Okay. All right, let's look at the Dow Jones for today's day chart first. Dow Jones today, interesting. Dow Jones today itself, right? You don't see it's turning red color, means a sell at the moment, not yet. Okay. You need to have it completed yet, but it's something that I need to warn you. Okay, if the bar really do red, if you do red, be careful, because this is a BMB. This is a BMB. So that is the reason why if the market do a CCYR, if a BMB, the impact might be great, no? Because we've not seen such a thing for some time already. So for today itself, right, P2 will be the main support come resistance. If the market now, you can see KSI is green, KSI green means if the downside come down, right, you hit pivot 2 first. But if you stay below pivot 2, then it will go down lower. But because the KSI is green and the market is supported at pivot 2, you can see that when you hit pivot 2, right, it will rebound. And truth be told, you see, the market came down to pivot 2 and beautifully it rebounded, as if that they know that pivot 2 exists. So again and again, I keep on telling you this is right. Our TWB system is really incredible. You just have to follow through and trade according to the rules. You should be able to make daily bread. Okay, remember that. All right, so that is the Dow Jones. Let's look at the Nasdaq, shall we? Now, Nasdaq is coming off for the third day in a row. I told you about the important MLP level. The MLP level you can see is here. So below MLP, below OP, more to the sell side. And of course, now the MA30 is somewhere near here, and that's 14,969. The 95% marker is 15,933. So all of them are now, these two of them are below the market. Only the saving grace is that the moving average 200 is still there. So I still think that if the market is to come down, we must watch out for this figure. If the market do come down and stop here, that will be the important point that the market has to take note, and that's 14,516. Now this figure basically tells you that if the market hit this point here, likely there should be some intermittent rebound, because that was what happened previously. Okay, so traders, you can also conjunct this idea and watch out for this 14,516 level. Okay, for the Nasdaq. By the way, the Dow Jones got BMB, right? So I say the BMB high and the low itself, all there. Okay, let's look at the Nasdaq. Yeah, Nasdaq. This is a Nasdaq, and you can see the Nasdaq itself. The opening price is between the two pivot point, but the KSI is red. Different story. The KSI is red. So this is a CCYR on the Nasdaq. So below OP is a sell already. Then once you go below pivot 2, confirm sell. So the downside could be as much as 14,494 region. Okay. All right. So I suspect that Nasdaq will be coming down to here, 14,494. Okay. I suspect that will be happening for the Nasdaq if it's coming down. Okay, so there's a Nasdaq. Look at S&P 500. Now S&P 500 this morning also came down initially, Then after that, now it rebounded because we have a 95% marker there, right? Very important marker there. Take a look. So 95% is a marker, and once it hit there, the market recover. Then the last time this happened, the market recover. It happened again, the market recover. So every time when the market hits the 95% mark, right, usually you can see a rebound. Right, this time around, will it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times lucky? We will know whether the market decide. But if you can focus, okay. All right. So now for it itself, right, MLP for today is over here, S&P. Now it's below the MA 30, but it's above MA 200. So my view is that, right, the market should be able to come down to test 43.24 again. I think that's a very fair figure. The market should be going down 43.24 figure. Okay. All right. So that is the S&P 500 on the conventional. Let's look at the S&P on the TWB chart. Okay. Okay. We have a problem here, everybody. Focus. The market opening price is actually now below, it's trading between the pivots, but now it's trading below pivot 2. And the KSI is red in color, not a good sign. So that means that there should be a bit more selling. Now, if basically, so right, if you see this happening, then if the market stays below 43.45, that means that the market will likely be trading down further. Okay, and then if this will confirm like this, then tomorrow we have CCYR and day chart again. Okay. All right, so that we have covered the S&P, the Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones. Let's look at the DAX market, shall we? Now the DAX, I told you very beautifully, I told you there's this 95% marker that you need to watch out for, and truth be told, the market purposely touched this point beautifully and then come down. All right, and of course, it broke the MLP, as you can see that. It broke the MLP and it went down lower yesterday. So DAX itself, right, you can see it's still below the MA 30. It's still below the MA 200, and most likely it's still below the MLP. So likely we can see DAX coming down, really coming down to this point here, and that is 15,029. Okay, 029. Yeah, so that will be the target for the DAX later today. Okay. Then, of course, we have done with that. We have a Nikkei right now. The Nikkei is kind of off the low, but it's definitely, you can see, beautifully resisted by the MA 200 yesterday. It touches MA 200 and then come down already. Very powerful MA is what we're having here. And of course, the moving average also tells me that, right, it's below MA 200 and MA 30 and below MA 200 is kind of bearish. The 95% marker will be here. So as long as the market stays below MLP of 28,323, the Nikkei may take a bit of breather today. Okay, a bit of breather today. All right. If you look at the Nikkei chart from the TWB chart today is kind of neutral. It's not neither above pivot 1 or below pivot 2. It's trading, but there's a KSI jump yesterday, so that's why you can see that the market overall, the upside is there as well. Okay, so traders, please take note of that. For the Nikkei, today is kind of flat day, but KSI is green, so that means that if the market stay up tomorrow, it can in fact stay up to go towards this point. But that's tomorrow, huh? Okay, all right. So that is covered the equity market. Let's look at the commodity market right now. The gold, the headache gold. Okay, gold again and again and again and again. I'll tell you this. Okay, now today is still the same thing. The 1762 is the FIBO number, okay? But today the moving average has went down lower already. It's 1761. That's $1 different, huh? So 1761 is the MA. Then of course the 1762 is the FIBO, okay? So this is here we go, 71. So 1761, 1762. Okay, so this is the level to watch out for. The MLP, okay, the MLP is here today, and the market trading above MLP at 1755. Wow, 1755 is a good number. Okay, so let me just reiterate the point once again. Okay, if gold stays above 1755, which now the gold can recover back to 1761. Because 1761 is the MA 30 level, 1762 is the pivot number, okay? So later on itself, right, we will talk about this thing here itself. But my view is this: as long gold doesn't break above 1761, right, I don't think I should call for buying gold. Not now. And I'm still waiting for gold to try to test the trend line any day, today, tomorrow. If it tests area, at least if it is considered as good, then you can actually look for buyout again. You see, that is why we see that way. Okay, so that is gold 1761 to 1762. Okay, weekly chart wise is all right. All is okay, but you can see very clearly all of them are resisted at the new trend line level. So as long as no hanky panky, there's nothing to be worried about. All right, for gold today, okay, very interesting. Now gold today is a CCYR on the day chart. So by right, it's a sell on below OP. So now it's trading above OP, so you cannot sell it at the moment. Okay, cannot sell. But definitely this is a CCYR. And of course, on hindsight, okay, green bars, blue bar retreating, all these are telling you. But of course, as a trader, we need to follow the rules. And the rule says that the CCYR, then below OP, we have to sell. Okay, so you can see over here, if the gold price breach past 1757, that's pivot 1. If we above OP and above pivot 1, then of course that's a very good strong buy, and that will bring it higher to 1761 level. Okay, so traders, you can, if you are no longer a trader, okay, we're watching the market itself, then this is the target for you to watch out for 1761. Okay, all right. So this is what is happening right now. Okay, on the gold. All right, silver. Let's take a look on silver. The silver is still very tightly squeezed at the 2240, but you can see that on the 2240 ground, these have been stabilizing for quite a while already. They've been stabilizing for quite a while already. Today, the MA itself is 2270. So we're very, very nearby, 2270. If once you do good, we should be able to break above the MA and then trade higher. The 38.2 is 2287 now. All right, so traders think note of that. So as long as the silver stays above $22.50, I cannot see any reason to call for sell right now on this silver. Okay, unless something drastic happened to silver and then bring down the price. But if you bring down the price, we've seen it before, that it is a good time to accumulate for the recovery again. So I still don't think there's a reason to sell silver right now. Yeah. Okay, so we have covered silver, gold. Let's look at crude oil. Wow. Now crude oil had went up to $81.30 on CFD. This today pullback. Now I suspect that we some pullback today, temporarily only as usual. Yeah, temporarily, because I felt that the market has got up a little bit too hot, and usually when money is too hot, right? Actually the European side, the traders will go in, and then that's where they get caught up. So we don't want to be caught. We rather wait for a while. Anyway, buying on the rising market is never our way of doing it. We actually like to buy when the market comes down a little bit first. Then after that, we look for buy again. That will be the best idea to do crude oil trading. Okay. All right, so that is crude oil. Let's look at the crude oil day chart with TWB system. Oh. Here we go. Now, crude oil today is a sell. Why? Because you can see pretty clearly, if you follow the rules, the opening price, you notice this, the opening price and the day high is the same. Yay! The opening price and the day high for crude oil is the same. So it's a flat top. It's a flat top for crude oil today, flat top. Now, flat top meaning if the market stays below OP, it's a sell, or you don't need to ask, okay? But you notice that the KSI is green, and crude oil has been going up for quite a bit. So there is a possibility that crude oil may come down first, then purposely shoot up to, yeah, this market may come down. Okay, so the thing is this: if the market reverse from OP, come down first as a sell, but you go above OP itself, right? That means from OP to pivot 2 is actually it's what we call it as the sorry, lost my words already. The Sorry, I forgot my words. Suddenly just lost my mind. Okay, what area is that again? Suddenly I just lost track of my mind. Spot, yeah, the spot is above $80. The spot is about $81 plus right now. Yeah, the spot. Yeah, you can go to the trading view to watch the spot, but the futures now is lower. What's the futures price is actually lower because futures price carry costs, and of course that means that the market is still not that they are not that very keen with holding crude oil for longer term. Yeah, because of what is happening right now. Yes, correct. The uncertainty zone. Sorry about that. Suddenly it's all right. There's so much thing coming in my mind. I just couldn't get the right words. Thank you very much. This low. And Fred, okay, yeah, in the uncertainty zone. So the thing, but in sense, because it's a flat top, right? It's a flat top. So what will happen is this: if it's flat top, when the market goes down, we sell. That one expected. But because the KSI is green in color, right? KSI is green in color. So if the market is return and go past the flat top, right, it can easily go up to the pivot 2 level. So it's like a breakout from the flat top. So if traders want to really test the market and really want to squeeze the market a bit, right, you can try, but I will not encourage you because that's an uncertainty zone. But because it's a flat top, so that means that stops will be around the area. So the market may just push it past it and go to the pivot 2 from there. Okay? Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Wow, this low, you're so fearful of people screenshotting you. Delete away your message. But I mean, I still thank you for whatever it is. All right, appreciate that. Okay, so that is the what happened over here itself in terms of the crude oil. Okay, so I finished crude oil already. Now we left the last two will be the Bitcoin level. All right. Now, sorry. Now, Bitcoin really continued to go higher and it has crossed my 56,000 target level. Now, Bitcoin has crossed my 56,000 level. So which means that I have no reason to call for buy anymore at the moment now. Now, seriously, we know that the KCV at 57,820. And I think that's now it almost reaches it. It's the high 57,535. Okay, OCD. okay, I believe you. Really, I mean, this is Facebook, my goodness. Okay, anyway, all right. The thing is this, I really don't think you should chase here. That's all I can tell you. Because you know why? The KSI have been buying for quite a while. Can you see that the boys have been buying since here? And the blue bars is no longer available. So that means that it's very bullish already. Very bullish means that a lot of people are jumping in to buy. And you want to jump in right here to buy now when the market has surged so much, right? I really don't think it's a good idea. To do intraday trading, yes. But to buy, to keep at this point right now, can I say no to you? Because really, you don't need to do that. So you really don't need to do that. So I can tell you this is that I'm not going to ask you to chase. My target is already reached. I would say if you want to buy anything, based on the rule of engagement, well, for today's this market opening price is still between the two pivot. KSI is green. If you want to buy, you can aim for 59,738. You can aim there, but I will say that no, wait for a while. Okay, my personal view is just wait for a while. Okay, that's my personal thing. Of course, if you remember that itself, I did tell y'all in September month the market for Bitcoin will come down. It really came. And I told you from October, the market will recover. It really came. So all these forecasts is actually coming in. But that's why I say that if you believe in what I say, then there's no need to jump in right now. Wait for a pullback first and then buy again. Then it'll be a better, smarter way. Because if you miss the first wave already here, right? There's no reason to chase after this wave now. You got my point, right? It's not really necessary to chase here. Okay, wait for it to pull back, then buy. Okay, better bet. Yeah. All right, so that is Bitcoin. So that will go for Ethereum. It will go for Ethereum the same way. Ethereum, same thing. Now, my Ethereum, I already tell you, my personal target is still at 3287 level. Now it's there. But you notice that Ethereum is not following as strongly as Bitcoin. So that's why, to me itself, right, Ethereum, you can really wait already. Now, same thing, the KSI is green. There's no blue bar. Yeah, it's good. But I think that you're a bit high. Now, today opening price is above P1. So by right above P1 is a buy. But because of Bitcoin now is doing that itself, right? I will say that if you want to trade, no problem, above OP, above P1, just buy. And the target is still going to be higher, and that's 3,900 level. All right, but I don't think it will go up this round. So I still think that we should wait for it to pull back rather nicely. Then after that, you aim to buy up this point. Yes, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all this is still a buy in the later stage, but today we don't need to chase. Let it pull back first. Let it come down a bit more. Let it be a better buy. Then we call for it. Okay? So that is my view lah. Is wait for it to come down here about 32.80 level. Then we look at it. Maybe it's a better level. Don't chase it now. Really not necessary. Really, it's really unnecessary to chase it right now. Okay? All right, so that will be Bitcoin, and that will cover up entire this MAO. So let's do a quick recap on MAO today. Remember, this is right. We are looking at a very interesting movement right here, right now. But definitely, inflation is still the very big picture problem. And I suspect that the third quarter earnings going to be fantastic, and the forecast for fourth quarter won't be high. So the players likely there will be some profit taking. But if the profit taking really coming down, the market, although it's looking at S&P 4,000, my view is 4,100 instead. And after that as well, right, that will be a lovely time to buy, because wherever it is, whether it's going to be, taper, but later no more taper, or maybe the market will have interest rate high, but later don't have. Overall itself, right, there is still a lot of funds available in the system, and likely itself the market will just going to bring it up again. So a good buy, and then after that put SWL will be a very good proposition before we go into the market. Okay, all right, so that will be my summary for today. Now do remember, today we have our usual this Super Tuesday. All right, today I have something to share with you in accordance of this as well. Oops, sorry. All right, just take note of that. Okay, that will be all for today. Have a great day. This is Cal.